Hey traders, Jason with Day Trading Fearless. In this video, we're going to go over a thinkorswim day trading chart. Very basic. If you're a beginner, this can be really good for you. Even if you're experienced, I think this chart will really help you. It'll make you kind of go back to when you first started trading and you kept it simple, right? So let's dive right into it. So I will leave real quick. I will leave a link down below in the description. So you share link for thinkorswim, so you can upload this chart to your own trading platform. But essentially, we have a basic 1 minute chart with a 200 period moving average and a fast stochastic. We're going to use the stochastic for two things: overbought, oversold conditions, and looking for divergences. So we'll go over how to do something like that. Also, if you click right here on active trader, you could see you can enter, if you use thinkorswim to place your orders, you'll have access directly right here. And then when you want more screen, just kind of close it up like that, right? So you have more real estate of seeing the charts and all that. Over here, we have a 5 minute, 5-day chart, regular trading hours with a 200 period moving average. That's what this yellow line is. And then here we have a 15 minute 20-day with a 200 period moving average. Then down here on this bottom chart, we have our market profile. Okay, we have a VWAP right here. We have the value area low, the point of control, and then the value area high. And then these markers right here, the red one is the 38% from low to high, right? We have our 50% and then our 61.8%. And then this is the market profile or volume profile. And then this turquoise line right here is the 50% from high to low. That's always moving, but this is a regular trading chart. Currently I have it on 1 day, but normally in the link it'll be on today only. I'm doing this after hours, so I have to pull it up, but just so you know, it'll be a today only regular trading hours. So it'll start in the morning, right when the stock market actually opens. And then this chart is the advanced decline line for the New York Stock Exchange with a RVI. Okay, we're looking for overbought, oversold with divergences as the markets make certain moves. And then we have our zero line right here. So what the zero line is essentially if we're right around zero, the market should usually be right around being flat for the day. If we're above, then the market's bullish. If we're below, the market's bearish. These two charts right here are more for what's happening under the hood. What does under the hood look like, right? For the S&P Emini futures. And these are probably two of the best charts you can have, especially this chart right here, the market profile chart. This is kind of what I refer to as the holy grail. I could tell you if the market's probably going to go sideways or if we're going to start to trend one way or the other. If you want to help support my channel, get some trading education, and also get weekly S&P Emini trade zone levels, support, and resistance, then you need to sign up with my $99 lifetime subscription, one-time payment of the S&P weekly trade zones, where you will get support and resistance levels, any open gaps and VPOCs, and you will also get a 7-hour video course of my top 5 trading strategies that I go over, that I use on a daily basis. Also, as a bonus, you will get over 30 free thinkorswim custom indicators and charts, And you will get on a weekly basis every weekend, Thinkorswim share chart, so you can upload the drawings directly to your charts. If you use another brokerage firm, here are all the levels that you'll be able to draw your own levels on. So make sure you check out daytradingfearless.com to sign up, or the link down below. Again, $99, but back to the video. Right? Also be able to find support resistant levels very easily, but it will take you time, just so you understand. So with that being said, let's kind of dive in and see what type of ways we could trade this, right? So up here, I actually have, if I want to extend this chart, see how I just kind of hit this blue, just double left click, right? I can now extend this to see only this. So let's say you're only on a laptop or one screen, right? Not multiple screens. You're able to expand the window. Second thing I have here is this pin, right? And if I want to unpin it and make it hide, I can, or I can pin it to always show here on the chart. And then if I want to go in and change things around, I click that little wheel, and then I come over here and I could put drawing tools, study sets, styles, things like that on there. So you could see I have it pinned here, but see how it kind of pops down? That's what that's for. If you're looking to add that on your own charts, just go into the settings, this little wheel on the very home page where it says My Tools, go on each chart. Okay, or just select on each chart. You may have it off or single panel. And then just click apply and then OK. Okay, so one of the things that I like with the 1 minute charts, I could see kind of certain patterns. I could see inverse head and shoulders, double bottoms, things like that. Or I can also see oversold conditions, right? Is we start to rally, we could see it right here, right? As we rally, look at what's happening. On this move higher right here, okay, on this leg higher, we could see price got oversold right here. And then we had the pullback. Here's the pullback, right? And then as we made a new high all the way up here, well, look at what happened. You actually had a lower high. And that is what the divergence essentially is, right? That's the divergence trade. So I'm able to see, hey, look, we're starting to rally, really pick up some steam, but there's lack of seller or buyers, right? Because we could see the momentum's not as strong. And then what does price do once it reaches those highs? Starts to dwindle lower, right? And sell off. And here we're seeing it as I'm doing this after hours, it's starting to sell off more. Another thing we could use this chart for that's really good is just kind of drawing trend lines, right? We could draw a trend line like here, right? Extend it, just right click, extend to the right. So now we have a support level. I could duplicate this, right? And then I could pull it right up here. I'll put it up at this kind of the highest peak, right? So price could still come all the way up here. And then if we do, I would maybe look for a short up around these levels. Or if price falls, I'll look for a long here, right? Or a short up here. So what these trend lines are helping me to do is kind of set up a trade. Do I like it? Are there other levels of potential support or that come down as price comes down, right? So let's say price kept coming down. Is there a level of support that I could lean against? And I will always say, look to the left of the chart, right? The left will usually kind of tell you, hey, look for wick bottoms, wick lows, things like that, double bottoms, maybe where we had divergence, things like that. As you could see, if I just take a basic price level, look at this. This was all done pre-market on today's trading, right? Then we fell, kind of chopped around, rallied, and then as we came back down into this level, where did the buyers step in? Right around this support level, right? Think about it. Old support becomes new resistance here, kind of rally up, fail, chop around, and then after we kind of feel like there's a direction, we pull back and we come back down to the support level. Support, right? How many times? I always kind of say a joke of, if I come to your house and I keep knocking, eventually you're going to let me in, right? So think about this. Currently we have 1, 2, 3 hits. Do we hit on the 4th, okay, right around this level, or do we actually just fall directly below, right? So that's something to kind of peek at. Now, if we do fall, if price actually does fall through, maybe we come down, retest this level right here, right? All the way down, and then rally. Well, guess what? Now we're on the backside of the slower channel. We blew through, did not act as support, but on the way back up, it might act as resistance, and then we may see a kind of a rally and then a failure, something along those lines. So this is one way that I really like the 1 minute chart. I could kind of see different patterns, okay? Now, let's take a look at the 5 minute chart. So right here, I have a 5 minute. All I want to do is expand it. This is where maybe I'll look for divergences, right? We could see a divergence here, okay? And maybe I look for certain patterns. I go, hey, I think as we're selling off here, there's a major divergence, right? Even just from here to here would leave from here to here, and see how I use my crosshairs, right, to kind of line everything up. And then what does price do? It's off to the races, right, and starts to rally. But what I really like, probably one of the best things I like, is if we're above the 200, the market's bullish. As we come back down, once you see something get overstretched in the very first retest of that 200 is usually a good potential long buy just for a bounce. Again, it all is context of how the market is playing things like that. So as price is kind of above this 200, what we could do is kind of say, hey, if we come back down, are we oversold? Is there maybe things that we might not like? Well, that might give us a kind of a clue of, are we going to break below or are we going to break higher? Because right now it almost looks like we may be in a potential bull flag, right? And then we have the 200 to support this. So here is our flag, right? So we actually have a flagpole, price big rally, and then starts to kind of go sideways. And then what happens is once it goes sideways, it may break out to the upside. Now, if it fails, and let me redraw this, right? If this actually breaks to the upside, then this is a bullish move. But if it breaks to the downside, I would maybe wait for a break and then a retest to go short up around the 200. Just something very basic. We're not making kind of this harder than it has to be. I know a lot of times we do as traders, so just something to be very patient with and things like that. So What else? Another thing that I really like with these bigger charts is just looking for support levels, right? Or resistance. Like right here, we have a major resistant level. Why? Because we came down here, bounced, right? Broke through, gap lower, bounced, right? This was kind of chopped around, came back to this level, failed, took off, right? So what do you think is going to happen on the very first move back down into this level? Probably the buyers will step in, right? And that may be a buying opportunity. Just like here, okay, you could see this area right here. Okay, see how we kind of went sideways? It was like a little mini bull flag. Okay, and price kept touching this level. Well, guess what? Price took off. As it came back down, buyers kind of came in and there was a support level. If we also look back, we could see a little support level probably right around this level, which lined up with this, right? So this was kind of another level that you could have looked for, but I wouldn't have played that one. I would have probably just played this, like we have some here, and this is where we could kind of draw, if we want, right, little trade zones. So, and this is what I talk about and teach in my video courses, or about these trade zones, how to draw them, things like that, how to trade and use them. So that's what we have for the 5-minute. Our next chart is the 15-minute chart. Now, what I'm looking for are maybe bigger moves using the 15-minute chart, or maybe I'm looking for divergences, right? These are really good for divergences. And then what we do is we use the waterfall and reverse waterfall as our entry. So we could see price made a high on the RSI as we kind of pulled back, came back down, but as we made new highs and we have a reverse waterfall, think of it as stairs going up, right? Well, once price, or the bottom of the stair, once price breaches, now we're in a downtrend, right? And it creates a waterfall. Well, look at where the RSI is, right? RSI is now way down here, less momentum, and look at the sell-off. We could have entered here and use a stop up here. Also, we could see on the 15-minute chart just a bigger kind of more time. This is a 20-day 15-minute. We could come over here, go, hey, look, there's a support level right here. Price came, bounced, right? Well, guess what? If price starts to come back down, maybe look at this wick. This wick will probably be a level 2, because look at this. From this level right here, right? This was a gap, another gap, little sideways zipper, right? If we come back down into this level, right, if price starts to fall, then the buyers will probably step in, and that might be a good level. The second thing I might do is draw Fibonacci's, right? I'm going to use Fibonacci extensions, go from the high to the low and say, hey, is this and these levels match up anywhere? Things like that. We'll look at this little bull flag where price kind of went sideways for a while. Well, guess what? Maybe that will act as a support level, and we could say we want a trade zone maybe right in this level right here, right? Multiple things of confluence. Again, we're just trying to keep everything as simple as possible with trading. Sometimes with all the fancy things we're looking at, we make it too difficult. Now, this chart down here is what I call my holy grail. It's a today only, regular trading hours volume profile. I'll also call it market profile. It's all the same stuff to me, but this is just volume And we have the point of control where the most volume's traded. And then we have our value area high, value area low, our VWAP, 50%, and then our Fibonacci's over here. Normally this blue line will match up exactly with this, but because it's after hours and I'm on a 1 day, things are a little messed up. But this chart will tell you if I start to see, if price started to come down, we'll say, and come down into this range, down in here, I would expect price to start to kind of chop around, okay, and see price come here and then churn like this. This is what I'd expect to start to clean this up and build out a nice profile like what we have here, right? This is a very clean profile. I would expect the same thing down here if price kind of failed. We're under the point of control, so we may come down here, go sideways, and then if the market is not that weak, it'll bounce and then probably get stuck here, clean this up right here. But if price does stay weak, right, and let's say we churn down this way, this line point of control gets shifted down here, then I would expect price to maybe make another leg lower. So this is why I really like this chart. Also, I could see if there's excess. We actually have excess, right, where think of it as a perfect bell shape, right, because a bell will look like this, right, and then it goes up and down like this, right? And this is kind of a perfect bell-shaped curve, right? We have that, and then that. So that's what we're looking for. Well, there are times where this may be a flat top, right? And there's no excess. So you might see something just like this, which is a P, and that is usually bullish, and then vice versa. If this is done, right, and then you go up here, this is a B for bearish, and watch for price probably to move lower. So that's how this works. And also, this is more of a type of chart where as it's being built throughout the day, you'll start to see volume go, and you'll see little anomalies, right? Kind of things like this where you're like, hey, price needs to come back in, fill this area up. I think if we get there, I'll look to be a buyer down at this level, looking for a quick scalp or something like that. So, and then finally, we have what's called our AD, advanced decline lines, our 0. Are we above? Are we below? I usually look for divergences, right, on something like this. As we're making a new high, is there a new high here, right? Or is there a head and shoulders pattern, as well as a head and shoulders pattern over on the 1 minute, right, on the stock market. And so here's a really good example. At 8, was it probably 8:15, right? So this is kind of the same pattern right here. Okay, we could see, hey, look, as we made this high right here, look at where the high is. There's a divergence, right? Because remember, this is how many up stocks versus down. And then all of a sudden you finally have that crash, and there's that crash, right? So sometimes there are telltales in this. If we break below, or if we come down to this 0 level after we're selling off, you can maybe find a quick little scalp right around there. Again, these are things that I would definitely say to watch, recommend to see how it works. Active trader, right? We could see the market is now open. I would definitely suggest having maybe a bracket order, right? So always kind of put your orders in brackets. If you want to put an order in at a specific level, let's say I like this level right here for a long, I would put an order in at 21.75. Move this over, right? And we would put something in, we'll say like this, right? And then if we want, we can move these directly from the chart, or we could cancel everything, right? So there are multiple ways. If I want to trade the MES, just change this to MES, and guess what? Now I have the MESs I could trade, and usually they're about the same levels, same patterns, everything like that. So, but everything's there. Hopefully this video was really helpful. Again, I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can upload this chart to your own your own Thinkorswim platform. And as always, thank you for watching my videos, and until next time, we'll talk to you soon.